So today's Papamocani Ekadasi, and the glories of this Ekadasi are described in the Bhavishya Yotra Purana in the conversation between Lord Krishna and Maharaj Yudhishthir. So once Maharaj Yudhishthir asked Lord Krishna, "My dear Lord Krishna, you have already explained the glories of Malaki Ekadashi. Now please describe the Ekadashi which occurs during the waning moon in the month of March, April. What is the name of this Ekadashi? Also describe to me the procedure for observing this Ekadashi and its results." Lord Krishna replied, "O best of kings, the name of this Ekadashi is Papamochini. Now please hear its glories as I describe them to you. Long, long ago, the glories of this Ekadashi were spoken by the sage Lomasha to King Mandatta. This Papamochini Ekadashi occurs during the waning moon in the month of March, April. This Ekadashi takes away all one's sinful reactions, destroys one's ghostly condition of life, and awards 8 kinds of mystic perfections. Sage Lomasa said, "In the ancient time, Kuer, the treasury of the demigods, had a beautiful forest of flowers called Chaitra Rath, where the weather was pleasant as a result of an eternal spring. The heavenly dancing girls, such as the Gandharvas and Kinnaras, enjoyed various sports there. Demigods headed by Indra used to come there and enjoy various exchanges. In that forest, a great sage named Medhavi, who was a staunch devotee of Lord Shiva, was engaged in performing austerity. The Apsaras tried to disturb the sage in various ways. Among the Apsaras, one famous Apsara named Manju Ghosh devised means to captivate the mind of the sage. Due to fear of the sage, Manju Ghosh moved to a cottage a little away from the ashram of the sage, began to sing in a sweet voice accompanied with the musical instrument veena. On seeing Manju Ghosh, who applied sandalwood pulp on her body, wore a fragrant flower garland, and was engaged in singing sweetly, even Cupid, who was an enemy of Lord Shiva, tried to conquer the sage, who was a devotee of Lord Shiva. One time, Lord Shiva burnt Cupid to ashes. Thus, remembering his previous enmity, Cupid entered the body of the sage in order to take revenge. At that time, sage Medhavi, who wore a white sacred thread on his body and who lived in the ashram of Chavana Rishi, appeared as the second Cupid. The lusty Manju Ghosh slowly came before the sage. The sage Medhavi also became overwhelmed by lust, forgot his worshipable lord. He gave up the practiced devotional service and became so intoxicated in relishing the association of this woman that he even lost the sense of discriminating between day and night. In this way, sage Medhavi spent many years enjoying lusty activities. Thereafter, when Manju Ghosh saw that the sage had fallen down from his position, she decided to return to the heavenly planet. So she said to sage Medhavi, who was engaged in conjugal affairs, "O great sage, now please give me permission to return home." Then sage Medhavi replied, "O beautiful woman, you have come to me only in the evening. Stay here tonight and you can return in the morning." On hearing those words of the sage, Manju Ghosh became frightened and continued to live with him for a few more years. In this way, although Manju Ghosh lived with the sage for 57 years, 9 months, and 3 days, still it appeared to be only half of a night to the sage. Manju Ghosh again asked for permission from the sage to return home, but the sage said, "O beautiful one, please hear my words. This is only morning. Please wait till I finish my morning rituals." Then the Apsara smiled and said to the sage with amazement, "O great sage, how long will it take to complete your morning rituals? Haven't you finished yet? You have spent many years enjoying my association. Therefore, please consider the actual value of the time." On hearing the words of the Apsara, the sage came to his senses. After carefully calculating the time, he said, "Alas, O beautiful one, I have simply wasted 57 years of my valuable time. You have ruined everything and spoiled all my austerities." The eyes of the sage filled with tears and his entire body began to tremble. Sage Medvi cursed Manju Ghosh in the following words: "You have behaved with me like a witch. Therefore, you will immediately become a witch, O sinful, unchaste lady. Shame on you." After being cursed by the sage in this way, Manju Ghosh humbly said to the sage, "O best of the Brahmins, please withdraw your heavy curse. I have spent many years in your company. O my lord, for this reason I am a fit candidate for your forgiveness. Please be merciful to me." The sage replied, "O gentle lady, what will I do now? You have destroyed my entire wealth of austerity. Still, I am telling you the procedure for getting free from this curse. The Ekadashi, which occurs in the waning moon in month of March, April, which is called Papamocani and is capable of destroying all one's sinful reactions. If you follow this Ekadashi strictly and faithfully, then your ghostly condition of life will be vanquished." After speaking these words, Sage Medhu returned to the ashram of his father, Sage Javan. As soon as Sage Javan saw his fallen son, he became extremely unhappy and said, "Alas, alas, O my son, what have you done? You have ruined yourself. You should not have spoiled your entire treasury of austerity simply by being captivated by an ordinary lady." Sage Medhu replied, "O respected father, due to misfortune, I have committed great sins in the association of an apsara. Therefore, please instruct me regarding the atonement of my sinful reactions." On hearing the pathetic words of his repentant son, the sage Javana said, "O my son, by observing Papamocani Ekadashi, all one's sinful reactions are completely destroyed. Therefore, you should observe this Ekadashi." On hearing these kind words of his father, Sage Medvi exhibited special enthusiasm in observing this Ekadashi. By the influence of this Ekadashi, all the sinful reactions of Sage Medvi were destroyed and became very pious. Meanwhile, Manju Ghosh also observed this auspicious Papamocani Ekadashi, became liberated from the ghostly condition of life. She then regained her divine form and returned to heaven. After narrating this story to King Mandatta, Lord Lomasha concluded as follows: "My dear king, just by observing this Papamocani Ekadashi, all one's sinful reactions are automatically destroyed. By hearing or reading the glories of this Ekadashi, one achieves the result of donating 1,000 cows. By observing this Ekadashi, all kinds of sinful reactions resulting from the killing of a Brahmin, killing an embryo, drinking wine, associating with one's gurus are totally uprooted. The purport is that since the sacred Ekadashi is all auspicious and it is the destroyer of all sins, everyone should strictly observe this Ekadashi. Papamocani Ekadashi ki jai.
So, very interesting Ekadasi. Are there any questions about it? Few things which really come to mind. One is how interesting how the sage didn't take responsibility initially for his own behavior, but he cursed the lady, the Apsara. But actually, this was his blessing, which sounds a little crazy, but it's a blessing because when she was cursed, the sage's curses usually are blessings. Anyway, she begged forgiveness, and the sage gave her a way out, which is this Ekadasi, which destroyed all of her sins. So, from that point of view, the sage's curse was a blessing, and the sage not taking responsibility for his own activities is a blessing because she got cursed. But then, of course, he went back to his father and he accepted that actually he'd made the mistake of wasting so much time in the company of the lady. But he didn't know what to do. He took shelter of his father, which is again very interesting because he himself had prescribed the cure that to the lady that if you perform this Ekadasi, you're going to be saved. So interesting, he didn't immediately apply that same cure to himself. This is the power of Ekadasi. And this is the power of the guru or the elder. When the elder directs you, when your father or your spiritual guru directs you in a certain direction, that has more potency. So him taking the advice of his father and performing the Ekadasi as he did, made that Ekadasi more potent for him. So this is a very interesting point. there was one other thing I was going to mention. Of course, when we do the Ekadasi, it is to please the Lord. That is the purpose of the Ekadasi, because uh, this is our little tiny austerity in this age of Kali Yuga, to perform this little austerity to please the Lord. It isn't necessarily to destroy the sins. If we simply please the Lord, that automatically destroys the sins. It's like the 50-pound note already includes 10-pound note, 20-pound note, 5-pound note. You don't have to do anything special to destroy the sins, because we're already doing the Ekadasi to please the Lord. We don't have to ask the Lord, please destroy our sins. That's automatically done. And that's also regarded little selfish, because we're just looking after ourselves. But if we please the Lord, then actually a lot more is accomplished. So the purpose of Ekadashi, doing Ekadashi, is to satisfy, to make the Lord happy. When He becomes happy, then we've watered the root of the whole plant, not the individual leaves. And everything becomes happy, not just the Lord, but everything around us becomes happy as well. So, any questions, any comments on this?
Yeah.
Yes, probably.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I'm sorry, but I missed the starting part. So I will, I think I will have to hear it again. I mean, the way it has been described, that doing this Ekadasi, we will come off the sin. But as you said just now, that we are not asking God that take our sin away, because I've done this prat today.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you the same question, that doing this Ekadasi, will we come off our sins or not at all, or it will come out slowly?
No, it will. Definitely, the sins will be eradicated. No doubt about it.
But it will take time.
It will take time. We have mountains of sins.
Yeah. Other day I was telling you that.
Yes.
I mean, I'm talking openly. You've done so many sins with you, even with your mind, your eyes. So it is not counted. So we don't know. And lately, as we grew up, I must have said lied also myself, and that is a sin too. So I must tell you that. I mean, I'm talking honestly. I know everybody's listening, but doesn't matter. We have done sins in our life, past time. As we started knowing the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, learning more, and we started saying, no, we shouldn't lie, we shouldn't say bad things for others, doing those karmas, and just be nice to and try to respect everyone and do best whatever you can do to help others. So we can try that. But the way I said you just now, that I must have done many sins in my life. And it will take time. I mean, I have done Vrat today myself also.
Oh, fantastic.
Anyway, I'm glad I joined this evening, because I was not sure.
Yes, you said, yeah. No, thank you.
But I will stay up to 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
and I told my husband that we'll have late dinners. He said, oh, you can come and join.
Thank you for that sacrifice. Very good. But actually,
you carry on, please.
We don't necessarily worry too much about the pap, because, pap, it will come and go. We will suffer the karma. We will take responsibility as well. If we suffer something, we won't blame anybody else. It's our own karmas are coming to fructify.
Okay.
The main thing of Ekadasi, we're not concerned, we're not worried about the sins, because as soon as we take shelter of the Lord, then he is responsible for us. He takes responsibility for us.
Yes.
So it's you're right that in this world it's very hard to live a sinless life. Even if you're walking down the road, you could be
Yes.
stepping on all sorts of insects, and
Yeah.
so how can you avoid that? So we don't worry too much about that. Obviously, we do try to commit sins knowingly, but main thing is to take shelter of the Lord and to try to live our lives around Him. He's a center of our life, and
Yes.
and part of that is also like what you're doing your duty by serving your husband. That's part of seva, because you are not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for your husband. So
Yes.
he will become pleased by that activity, especially because when you cook, you offer the food, it becomes prasad, you
Oh,
serve.
yes, definitely. I offer the food. When the food goes on the table, I call the God and say that, come, and join us, and
Come
you
and join us.
take, and you take the food first, and
Yeah,
then we eat. So it comes prasad.
becomes prasad. So
Yeah.
that is seva, and that is you,
We remember him,
you remember him. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Good. No, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Uh,
Eh,
I have a question, please.
yes.
If
Who are you?
I'm Om,
Hi, Om. That's a really nice name.
thank you. I just like to know if the mountain of sins are, slowly destroyed. That means if we reach a point where we don't have a prarabdha karma to keep the body and soul together, will the soul leave the body that point?
Yes, yes. The soul will definitely leave the body at some point, right? Whether we are sinless or not. Because when
Ye-
our time is up, it's up. The problem is if our lives have been full of different karmas, perhaps different sinful activities, then in the next life we continue to suffer. So say we've lived a life without any sin at all, no sin, or we eradicate all the sin during our life. So at the
But
end, what will
yeah,
happen? All.
but Prabhu, I'm just asking, supposing a young person has, reached that point of uh, um, removing all the prarabdha karma, he may
Yeah,
be
yeah,
20, 25 years.
yeah.
So that person, even that point, his soul will leave the body.
Oh yeah, it can, but the soul, it's
Yeah.
not dependent on the sins one commits. It's dependent on our breaths. So our lifespan is dependent on how much breaths we have taken, right? So if, say, somebody is 25, they pass away and they have no sins, it doesn't mean that they will go back to the spiritual world. I don't know if that's one of the things that you mean. The spiritual world can only be attained if one becomes devoted to the Supreme Lord. So, if somebody has no sins when they leave the body, what would happen to them? They may go to the heavenly kingdom, heavens, because if they've done a lot of good karma, they will enjoy the benefit of that good karma in the heavens. But the problem with going to heaven is when the good karma bank account finishes, one comes back again to earth to continue doing karma. So, what devotees try to do, and this is the instruction actually given by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, Devi Esha Maya Devi Esha Gunamaya Mam Maya Durutaya. Try to surrender onto the Supreme Lord, take shelter of Him, and He will give the ability to cross over this material world very easily. So whether sins will happen. It's very hard to live a sinless life in this. Even when we're breathing, we might be breathing in so many living entities. There may be germs or whatever. Even that
Yeah,
has
but
a consequence.
my concern was because for somebody, if somebody young, who you say that person, he has a son, a daughter born,
Yeah.
and 1 month old. So if the
Ah.
father leaves at that point, that was so. Should we take this very seriously when our family commitments are over?
No, should take this seriously immediately. It's not who knows when the family commitments are over. Even when somebody is quite old, they can still claim, oh, I've still got to look after my grandchild. I've still got to make sure my child who is, I don't know, 40, 50, that he has got enough money to continue. So I will continue working so that he has enough money. Commitments in this material world are endless. And no matter how much we try to convince ourselves, oh, when I'm older, I will become more devoted. It's not going to work. It's not going to happen because there is no thing, tomorrow doesn't come. Tomorrow never comes. That's it. It's always going to be tomorrow. I'll do my seva tomorrow. It never comes today. So the advice of Prahlad Maharaj is immediately perform bhakti. It doesn't mean we give up the world, we give up everything and live in the temple. No, 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 no. What did Krishna say to Arjun? No, you can't go to the forest. You have to do your duty and fight. So we do our duty in our whatever circumstances we have been given by the Lord, do our duty, but we do that in such a way that it is also bhakti. How do we do that? Right? Very easy. We gave the example of cooking, right? You cook your food, you're going to eat that food, right? So when you cook, after you cook your food, offer it to God, offer it to Krishna. And there's different ways to offer it to Krishna, but you offer it to Krishna, it becomes prasad. That prasad, when you eat that prasad, you're no longer eating material food, you're eating spiritual food, which is giving you your luck to go back to the spiritual world. So everything we do, we do our duty, look after the kids. We go to work. We do the shopping. Do everything that you need to do. But you connect it to God to make it bhakti. So you don't wait until the end of life, because the end, who knows? We won't have any teeth, may not be able to speak, may not be able to eat. What sort of condition are we at the end of our life? We're going to go to God and say, okay, my dear Lord, I'm all yours. We can't do anything for him at that time. Now we can. We've got the ability. We got some capability of serving him. Immediately we have to start. It's too late if we do it. Think about tomorrow, because tomorrow will never happen today.
And tomorrow could be your last day.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Om?
Oh, yeah, very much. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, hang on. Simran. Yes, Simran, what would you like to say? Please unmute and.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nice to see you.
You too. What you were saying just reminded me of this verse 9.27 from the Bhagavad Gita, which says, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me.
That's a really nice share. Thank you. Now, Om, Simran is an example. She's young. Well, she's youngish.
25, the number you
Well,
gave.
to some people, you're past it, okay? To the 8-year-olds I've been talking to today, you're like 100 years old. But she's young, but yet pretty much, I mean, she's pretty much whatever she does it for the Supreme Lord. She goes to work, she does so many different things, but it's all connected to God. Somehow we connect it to God. Does that make sense, Om?
Oh, yes, very much. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you, and thank you, Simran. Okay, anything else? It's a very good discussion. Thank you so much, Om, for asking. Thank you, Prabhaben, for...
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I would say bhakti and duty goes hand in hand.
Sorry? Bhakti and?
Bhakti and duty goes
Yes.
hand in hand.
Correct,
Yes.
correct. You can dovetail your duty into bhakti. Yes. But if we just do our duty for the sake of duty without connecting it to the Supreme Lord, then it's just karma. Then we're just incurring karma. Right? If we're just doing, like Krishna says to Arjuna, that you do your duty, but you think of me at the same time. Right? That's quite an ask, you know. Do your duty. You're going to, fire that bow or that arrow at the same time. You're going to have to think of me. So it's not easy, but it is possible. Is that okay, Kamakshi?
Yes, definitely. I just
Thank you for contribution.
input. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Kaushalimaji.
I just wanted to ask you, when you are doing thoughts, your thoughts are getting bad. What about them?
Yes, it's a good point. If we're not careful with thoughts, they end up being action. But in Kali Yuga, we are a little bit fortunate because our thoughts, even if they're little crazy thoughts, they don't incur sin in Kali Yuga. In previous yugas, if you thought something, it is as if you committed a sin, if you've done something wrong. If you think something wrong. But in Kali Yuga, if you think something wrong, it doesn't fructify into a sin unless you actually commit the sin. The problem with that, is that if that thought, bad thoughts may well come into, become action. So it is very important to control the thoughts.
Control, yeah. I do. But sometimes, mind just flies.
No. You are one of the most amazing persons we know.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Mataji is telling the same thing. Our thoughts never stop. It's always keep thinking. We don't want to think, but it still keeps going again and again. Same thing. Haribol. From Bhagavad Gita, we should try and train our mind as our friend.
Yeah.
Let it be our enemy. Yeah, that's what I've heard from one of the friends, that make your mind your friend and tell it go away. If you get something bad, just say go away. I don't want to think about you. That's it. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
And the mind, Krishna does, Arjuna says to Krishna that the mind is very strong. What is it? Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. Pallava Dardham, and he gives the qualities of the mind. But Krishna says, yes, you're right. Mind is strong. So he doesn't dismiss it straight away. But he does say to Arjuna that there are two things that you can do to control your mind. One is practice. If the mind goes, becomes negative, bring it back to the positive mood. And second is be detached. Yes, we have so many things that we own or possess. But if you become detached to those things, the mind will become a little bit more steady. It'll be a little bit more calmer. It's not worried, because most people worry about what they've lost or what they have. They're worried about losing it. And most of the time, the mind is just thinking about those sort of things. So detachment helps. So, Simran, anything you'd like to add?
Hare Krishna. No, I think that's really nice. Practice and detachment is the way to control the mind. I was just looking at the verse. It's 6.34, where Arjuna says, "O Krishna, the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong. To subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind." And then Krishna says, as you said, "O mighty armed son of Kunti, the mind is undoubtedly difficult to control, but it can be conquered through practice and detachment." So consistent effort in spiritual practice and renouncing or surrendering the fruits to Krishna can enable us to control the mind just by being consistent in devotional service.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Very good. Okay, if there's nothing else, thank you. Good discussion today. Radhika, anything you'd like to share before you recite this wonderful Vishnu Sahasranam?
Really, such a nice discussion. Thank you for all the questions, and I don't think I'm qualified, except I can add to the many woes we all have on thoughts and yeah, thank you.
You're very qualified. I don't care what you say. So, would you like to share your screen? Should be able to, huh?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. And you're welcome to say anything you like before reciting.
Yes, sure. How is that? Are you able to
No,
see my screen okay?
little bit more.
One more. That's
Should be
it
okay,
should be
yeah.
okay, yeah.
One more, yeah, go on.
How's that?
That's
Okay,
better.
brilliant.
Some of us are getting old, you know.
Me too. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for just this lovely company. Sadhu Sangha is so precious. So thank you for the company. And happy Ekadashi again to everyone. It's always so nice to hear the Ekadashi Katha from Jayanti Mataji. I always enjoy it. And today I've been invited to read or chant the Vishnu Sahasranama. Thank you for the opportunity. More than chanting the Vishnu Sahasranama, hearing the Vishnu Sahasranama is that much more significant, that much more powerful and meaningful. And I try chanting it every day because it's believed to be the 1,000 names of the Lord. And by just saying the names of the Lord, we remember him. And each name, we are reminded of a pastime of the Lord. It promotes goodness. It promotes spiritual growth. It helps individuals stay aligned with our dharmic principles. So I think it's very much in line with the discussion that we've just had on how all of these stotras and mantras that we have so kindly been bestowed by our gurus is a means to stay focused. So I'll start chanting the Vishnu Sahasranam.
Thank you so much.
Om Shuklam Bharataram Vishnum Shashivaranam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Viknopashantaye Vyasam Vashishthanaptaram Shakter Portamakalmasham Parasharatmajam Vande Shukatatam Taponidhim Vyasaya Vishnurupaya Vyasarupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahmanidhaye Vashisthaya Namo Namaha अविकाराय शुद्धाय नित्याय परमात्मने सदैकरूपरूपाय विष्णवे सर्वजिष्णवे यस्य स्मरणमात्रेण जन्मसंसारबन्धनात् विमुच्यते नमस्तस्मै विष्णवे प्रभविष्णवे ॐ नमो विष्णवे प्रभविष्णवे श्रीवैश्वम्पायन उवाच श्रुत्वा धर्मानशेषेण पावनानि सशर्वशः युधिष्ठिरः शान्तनवं पुनरेवाभ्यभाषत युधिष्ठिर उवाच किमेकं दैवतं लोके किं वाप्येकं परायणं स्तुवन्तः कं कमर्चन्तः प्राप्नयोर्माणवा शुभम् को धर्मः सर्वधर्माणां भवतः परमो मतः किं जपन्मुच्यते जन्तुर्जन्म संसारबन्धनात् श्रीभीष्मरोवाच जगत्प्रभुं देवदेवमनन्तं पुरुषोत्तमं स्तुवन्नाम सहस्रेण पुरुषः सततोदितः तमेव चार्चयन्नित्यं भक्त्या पुरुषमव्ययं ध्यायन् स्तुवन्नमस्यंश यजमानस्तमेव च अनादिनिधनं विष्णुं सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं लोकाध्यक्षं स्तुवन्नित्यं सर्वदुःखादिको भवेत् ब्रह्मण्यं सर्वधर्मज्ञं लोकानां कीर्तिवर्धनं लोकनाथं महद्भूतं सर्वभूतभवोद्भवम् एष मे सर्वधर्माणां धर्मोऽधिकतमो मतः यद्भक्त्या पुण्डरीकाक्षं स्तवेरच्चैन्नरः सदा परमं यो महत्तेज परमं यो महत्तपः परमं यो महद्ब्रह्म परमं यः परायणम् पवित्राणां पवित्रं यो मङ्गलानां च मङ्गलं दैवतं देवतानां च भूतानां यो ययः पिता यतः सर्वाणि भूतानि भवन्त्यादियुगागमे यस्मिंश्च प्रलयन् यान्ति पुनरेव युगक्षये तस्य लोकप्रधानस्य जगन्नाथस्य भूपते विष्णोर्नाम सहस्रं ने शृणु पापभयापहम् यानि नामानि गुम्नामि विख्यातानि महात्मनः ऋषिभिः परिगीतानि तानि वक्ष्यामि भूतये विशिर्नाम्नां सहस्रस्य वेदव्यासो महामुनिः छन्दोनुस्तुप्तथा देवो भगवान् देवकीसुतः अमृतां शुद्भवो बीजं शक्तिर्देवकीनन्दनः त्रिसामाहृदयं तस्य शान्त्यर्थे विनियुज्यते विष्णुं जिष्णुं महाविष्णुं प्रभविष्णुं महेश्वरम् अनेकरूपदैत्यान्तं नमामि पुरुषोत्तमम् अस्य श्रीविष्णोर्दिव्यसहस्रनामस्तोत्रमहामन्त्रस्य श्रीवेदव्यासो भगवान् ऋषिः अनुष्ठुप् छन्दः श्रीमहाविष्णुः परमात्मा श्रीमन्नारायणो देवता अमृतां शुद्भवो भानुरिति देवकी नन्दन षष्ठेति शक्तिः उद्भवः क्षोभनो देव इति परमो मन्त्रः शङ्खभृन्नन्दकी चक्रीति कीलकं श्राङ्गधन्वागधाधरयत्रस्थं रथाङ्गपाणिरक्षोपयति नेत्रं त्रिसामा सामगः सामेति कवचम् आनन्दं परब्रह्मेति योनिः ऋतुर्सुदर्शनकालयति दिग्बन्धः श्रीविश्वरूप इति ध्यानं श्रीमहाविष्णुप्रीत्यर्थे सहस्रनाम जपे विनियोगः ध्यानं क्षीरोधन्वत्प्रदेशे शुचिमणिविलसत्सैकते मुक्तिकानां मालाक्लिप्तासनस्थस्फटिकमणिनिभैर्मौक्तिकैर्मण्डिताङ्गः शुभ्रैरप्रेरतभ्रैः उपरि विरचितैः मुक्तपीयूषवर्षैः आनन्दीन पुनीयाधरिनलिलकथा शङ्खपाणिर्मुकुन्दः बुःपादौ यस्य नाभिर्वियदसुरनिलश्चन्द्रसूर्योच्चनेत्रे कर्णावासासिरोध्यो मुखमपि दह्नो यस्य वास्तेयमब्धिः अन्तस्थं यस्य विश्वं सुरनरखगो भोगि गन्धर्वदैत्यैः चित्रं रम्यते तं त्रिभुवनवपुषं विष्णुमीशं नमामि ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभाङ्गं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिहृद्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्व सर्वलोकैकनाथं मेघश्यामं पीठकौसेयवासं श्रीवत्साङ्गं कौस्तुभोद्भासिताङ्गं पुण्योपेतं पुण्डरीकायताक्षं विष्णुं वन्दे सर्वलोकैकनाथं नमः समस्तभूतानामादिभूताय भूभृते अनेकरूपरूपाय विष्णवे प्रभविष्णवे शशङ्खचक्रं शकिरीतकुण्डलं सपीतवस्त्रं सरसीरुहेक्षणं सहारवक्षस्थलशोभिकौस्तुभं नमामि विष्णुं शिरसा चतुर्भुजं छायायां पारिजातस्य हेमसिंहासनोपरि आसीनमम्बुदस्याममायताक्षमलङ्कृतम् चन्द्राननं चतुर्बाहुं श्रीवत्साङ्कितवक्षसं रुक्मिणी सत्यभामाख्यां सहितं कृष्णमाश्रये ॐ विश्वं विष्णुर्वषत्कारो भूतभव्यभवत्प्रभुः भूतकृद्भूतभृद्भावो भूतात्मा भूतभावनः भूतात्मा परमात्मा च मुक्तानां परमागतिः अव्ययपुरुषः साक्षी क्षेत्रज्ञो शैर्येव च योगो योगविदां नेता प्रधानपुरुषेश्वरः नारसिंहवपुः श्रीमान् केशवः पुरुषोत्तमः सर्वशिवस्थाणुर्भूताधिर्निधिरव्ययः सम्भवो भावनो भर्ता प्रदव प्रपुरीश्वरः स्वयंभुः शम्भुरादित्यपुष्कराक्षो महास्वनः अनाधिनिधनो धाता विधाता धातुरुत्तमः अप्रमेयो ऋषिकेश पद्मनाभो मरप्रभुः विश्वकर्मा मनुस्त्वष्टा स्थविष्ठस्थविरोध्रुवः अग्राय शाश्वतकृष्णो लोहिताक्षप्रदर्शनः प्रभूतस्तिककुत्थाम पवित्रं मङ्गलं परम् ईशानप्राणदप्राणो ज्येष्ठश्रेष्ठप्रजापतिः हिरण्यगर्भो भूगर्भो माधवो मधुसूदनः ईश्वरो विक्रमी धन्वी मेधावी विक्रमक्रमः अनुत्तमो दुरादर्शकृतज्ञकृतिरात्मवान् सुरेशः शरणं शर्म विश्वरेता प्रजाभवः अह संवत्सरो व्यालप्रत्ययः सर्वदर्शनः अजः सर्वेश्वरः सिद्धः सिद्धिः सर्वाद्युरच्युतः कपिरमेयात्मा सर्वयोगविनिश्रुतः वसुर्वसुमनः सत्यः समात्मा संमितः समः अमोघः पुण्डरीकाक्षो वृषकर्मा वृषाकृतिः रुद्रो बहुशिरा भभ्रुर्विश्वयोनिषुचिश्रवाः अमृतः शाश्वतस्थाणुर्वरारोहो महातपाः सर्वगः सर्वविद्भानुर्विश्वक्षेणो जनार्दनः वेदो वेदविदव्यङ्गो वेदाङ्गो वेदवित्कविः लोकाध्यक्षः सुराध्यक्षो धर्माध्यक्षकृताकृतः चतुरात्मा चतुर्व्यूहश्चतुर्धंशश्चतुर्भुजः भ्राजिष्णुर्भोजनं भोक्ता सहिष्णुर्गतिसत्तमः भ्राजिष्णुर्भोजनं भोक्ता सहिष्णुर्जगदाजितः अनघो विजयो जेता विश्वयोनिर्पुनर्वसुः उपेन्द्रो वामनप्रांशुरमोघः सुचिरूर्जितः अतीन्द्रः सङ्ग्रहः सर्गो धृतात्मा नियमो यमः वैद्यो वैद्यः सदा योगी वीरः महतपो मधुः अतीन्द्रियो महामायो महोत्साहो महाबलः महाबुद्धिर्महावीर्यो महाशक्तिर्महाद्युतिः अनिर्देश्य वपुः श्रीमान् मे आत्मा महाधृतिः महेश्वासो महीभर्ता श्रीनिवासः सताङ्गतिः अनिरुद्धः सुरानन्दो गोविन्दो गोविदाम्पतिः मरीचिर्दमनो हंसः सुपर्णो भुजगोत्तमः हिरण्यनाभः सुतपा पद्मनाभः प्रजापतिः अमृत्युः सर्वदिक्सिंहः सन्दाता सन्धिमान् स्थिरः अजो दुर्मशनः शास्ता विश्वरात्मा सुरारिहा गुरुर्गुरुतमो धाम सत्यः सत्यपराक्रमः निमिषो निमिषस्रग्भि वाचस्पतिरुरारधीः अग्रणी ग्रामणी श्रीमान् न्यायो नेता समीरणः सहस्रमूर्धा विश्वात्मा सहस्राक्षः सहस्रपात् आवर्तनो निवृत्तात्मा संवृतः संभ्रमर्थनः अह संवर्तको वह्निनलिलोधरनीधरः सुप्रसादप्रसन्नात्मा विश्वदित् विश्वभुक् विभुः सत्कर्ता सद्कुतः साधुर्जह्नुर्नारायणो नरः असङ्ख्येयो प्रमेयात्मा विशिष्टः शिष्टकृच्छुचिः सिद्धार्थसिद्धसङ्कल्पसिद्धितः सिद्धिसाधनः वृषा हि वृषभो विष्णुर्वृषपर्वा वृषोदरः वर्धनो वर्धमानश्च विविक्तः श्रुतिसागरः सुभुजो दुर्धरो वाग्मी महेन्द्रो वसुदो वसुः नैकरूपो बृहद्रूपः शिपिविष्टप्रकाशनः ओजस्तेजोद्युतिरः प्रकाशात्मा प्रतापनः बुद्धस्पष्टाक्षरो मन्त्रश्चन्द्रांशुर्भास्करद्युतिः अमृतांशुद्भवो भानुः सुरेश्वरः औषधं जगजस्सेतु सत्यधर्मपराक्रमः भूतभव्यभवन्नाथ पवनः पावनो नलः कामः कामकृत्कान्तः कामः कामप्रदप्रभुः युगादिकृत्युदावर्तो नैकमायो महाशनः अदृश्यो व्यक्तरूपश्च सहस्रजितनन्तजित् इष्टो विशिष्टशिष्ठेष्ठः शिखण्डी नरुषो वृषः क्रोधः क्रोधकृत्कर्ता विश्वबाहुर्महीधरः अच्युतप्रतितप्राणप्राणदो वासवानुजः अपां निधिरधिष्ठानमप्रमत्तप्रतिष्ठितः स्कन्दस्कन्दधरो दुर्यो वरदो वायुवाहनः वासुदेवो बृहद्भानुरादिदेवः पुरन्दरः अशोकस्थारनस्थारः शूरः शौरिजनेश्वरः अनुकूलशतावर्त पद्मे पद्मनिभीक्षणः पद्मनाभोरविन्दाक्ष पद्मगर्भशरीरभृत् महद्धिरिक्तो वृत्तात्मा महाक्षो गरुडध्वजः अतुलशरभो भीमः समयज्ञो हविर्हरिः सर्वलक्षणलक्षण्यो लक्ष्मीवान् समितिञ्जयः विक्षरो रोहितो मार्गो हेतुर्दामोदरः सहः महीधरो महाभागो वेगवानमिताशनः उद्भवः क्षोभनो देव श्रीगर्भः परमेश्वरः करणं कारणं कर्ता विकर्ता गहनो गुहः व्यवसायो व्यवस्थानः संस्थानस्थानदो ध्रुवः परदि परमस्पष्टः सुष्ठः पुष्टः सुभेक्षणः रामो विरामो विरजो मार्गो नेयो नयोनयः वीरशक्तिमतां श्रेष्ठो धर्मो धर्मविदुत्तमः वैकुण्ठपुरुषप्राणप्राणदप्रणवप्रतुः हिरण्यगर्भशत्रुघ्नो व्याप्तो वायुरधोक्षजः ऋतुर्सुदर्शनकालपरमेष्ठिपरिग्रहः उग्रः संवत्सरो दक्षो विश्रामो विश्वदक्षिणः विस्तारस्थावनस्थाणुर्प्रमाणं बीजमव्ययम् अर्थोऽनर्थो महाकोशो महाभोगो महाधनः अनिर्विन्नस्तविष्टो भूर्धर्मयूपो महामखः नक्षत्रनेमिर्नक्षत्री क्षामः क्षामः समीहनः यज्ञयज्ञो महीज्यष्टु क्रतुसत्रं सताङ्गतिः सर्वदर्शी निवृत्तात्मा सर्वज्ञोक्यानमुत्तमम् सुव्रतः सुमुखसूक्ष्मः सुघोषः सुगदः सुहृद् मनोहरोजितक्रोधो वीरभावुर्विधारणः स्वापनस्ववशो व्यापी नैकात्मा नैककर्मकृत् वत्सरो वत्सलो वत्सी रत्नगर्भो धनेश्वरः धर्मभृद्धर्मकृद्धर्मी सदसक्षरमक्षरम् अविज्ञाता सहस्रांशुर्विधाता कृतलक्षणः गभस्तिनेमिर्सत्त्वस्तः सिंहो भूतमहेश्वरः आदिदेवो महादेवो देवेशो देवभृत्कुरुः उत्तरो गोपतिर्गोप्ता ज्ञानगम्यः पुरातनः शरीरभूतभृत्पोक्ता कपीन्द्रो भूरिदक्षिणः सोमपो मृतपः सोमः पुरुजित्पुरुसत्तमः विनयो जयः सत्यसन्धो धाशारः सात्वतां पतिः जीवो विनियता साक्षी मुकुन्दो मितविक्रमः अम्बो निधिररन्तात्मा महोदधिशयोऽन्तकः अजो महार्हः स्वाधाव्यो जितामित्रप्रमोदनः आनन्दो नन्दनो नन्दः सत्यधर्मा त्रिविक्रमः महर्षिर्कपिलाचार्य कृतज्ञो मेदिनीपतिः त्रिपदस्थितसाध्यक्षं महाशृङ्गकृतान्तकृत् महावराहो गोविन्द सुषेणः कनकाङ्गदी गुह्यो कबीरो गहनो गुप्तश्चक्रगदाधरः वेदास्वाङ्गोजितकृष्णो धृतसङ्कर्षणोच्युतः वरुणो वारुणो वृक्षपुष्कराक्षो महामनाः भगवान् भगवानन्दी वनमाली हलायुधः आदित्यो ज्योतिरादित्यः सहिष्णुर्गतिसत्तमः सुधन्वाखण्डपरशुद्धारुणो द्रविणप्रदः दिवस्पृक् सर्वदिग्व्यासो वाचस्फटिरयो निजः त्रिसामासामगस्साम निर्वाणं भेषजं भिषक् सन्न्यासकृष्टमश्चान्तो निष्ठा शान्तिपरायणम् शुभाङ्गशान्तिदश्रेष्ठः कुमुदकुवलेशयः गोहितो गोपतिर्गोप्ता वृषभाक्षो वृषप्रियः अनिवर्ती निवृत्तात्मा संसेक्षाक्षेमकृच्छिवः श्रीवत्सवक्षा श्रीवास श्रीपति श्रीमताम्बरः श्रीधर श्रीश श्रीनिवास श्रीनिधिल श्रीविभावनः श्रीधर श्रीकर श्रेय श्रीमान् लोकत्रयाश्रयः स्वक्ष स्वङ्गशतानन्दो नन्दिर्ज्योतिर्गणेश्वरः विजितात्मा विधेयात्मा सत्कीर्तिश्चिन्न संशयः उदीर्णः सर्वतिश्चक्षुरनीशः शाश्वतस्थिरः भूषयो भूषणो भूतिर्विशोकः शोकनाशनः अर्चिष्मानर्चितः कुम्भो विशुद्धात्मा विशोधनः अनिरुद्धो प्रतितरप्रद्युम्नो मितविक्रमः कालनेमिनिहावीरः शौरिः शूरजनेश्वरः त्रिलोकात्मा त्रिलोकेश केशवः केशिहा हरिः कामदेवः कामबालः कामी कान्तकृतागमः अनिर्देश्य वपुर्विष्णुर्वीरोऽनन्तो धनञ्जयः ब्रह्मण्यो ब्रह्मकृत् ब्रह्मा ब्रह्म ब्रह्मविवर्धनः ब्रह्मविद् ब्राह्मणो ब्रह्मी ब्रह्मज्ञो ब्राह्मणप्रियः महाक्रमो महाकर्मा महातेजा महोरगः महाक्रतुर्महायज्वा महायज्ञो महाहविः स्तव्यस्तवप्रियस्तोत्रं स्तुतिस्तोत्रारणप्रियः पूर्णपूर्णयिता पुण्यपुण्यकीर्तिरणामयः मनोजवस्थितगरो वसुरेता वसुप्रतः वसुप्रतो वासुदेवो वसुर्वसुमनाहविः सद्गति सद्गुति सत्ता सद्भूति सप्तरायणः शूरसेनो यदुश्रेष्ठ सन्निवास सुयामुनः भूतावासो वासुदेवः सर्वासुनिलयो नलः दर्पः दर्पतो दृप्तो दुर्धरोधापराजितः विश्वमूर्तिर्महामूर्तिर्दीप्तमूर्तिरमूर्तिमान् अनेकमूर्तिरव्यक्तशतमूर्तिशताननः एकोनैकः सवक्कं किं यत् पदमनुत्तमम् लोकबन्धुर्लोकनाथो माधवो भक्तवत्सलः सुवर्णवर्णो हेमाङ्गो वराङ्गश्चङ्गनाङ्गदी वीरः विषमशून्यो कृताशीरजलश्चलः अमानी मानदो मान्यो लोकस्वामी त्रिलोककृत् सुमेधा मेधजोधन्य सत्यमेधाधराधरः तेजो वृषोद्युतिरः सर्वषष्ठभुताम्बरः प्रग्रहो निग्रहो व्यग्रो नैकशृङ्गो गताग्रजः चतुर्मूर्तिश्चतुर्बाहुश्चतुर्व्यूहश्चतुर्गतिः चतुरात्मा चतुर्भावश्चतुर्वेदविदेकपात् समावर्तो निवृत्तात्मा दुर्जयो दुरतिक्रमः दुर्लभो दुर्गमो दुर्गो दुरावासो दुरारिः शुभाङ्गुलोकसारङ्गस्तुतन्तुस्तन्तुवर्धनः इन्द्रकर्मा महाकर्मा कृतकर्मा कृतागमः उद्भवः सुन्दरः सुन्दो रत्ननाभः सुलोचनः अर्को वाजसनः शृङ्गी जयन्तः सर्वविजयी सुवर्णबिन्दुरक्षोभः सर्ववागीश्वरेश्वरः महाहृदो महागर्तो महाभूतो महानिधिः कुमुदकुण्डरकुण्डप्रजन्य पावनो निलः अमृतांशोऽमृतवपुः सर्वज्ञः सर्वतोमुखः सुलभः सुव्रतः सिद्धः शत्रुजिच्छत्रुतापनः न्यग्रोधोदुम्बरो स्वास्तच्चानूरान्दनिषूदनः सहस्राक्षी सप्तजिह्वः सप्तेदा सप्तवाहनः अमूर्तिरनुगोचिन्त्यो भयकृद्भयनाशनः अनुबृहत्तु शस्तूलो गुणपुन्नुगुणो महान् अधृतस्वधृतस्वास्तक् प्राग्वंशो वंशवर्धनः भारभृत्कथितो योगी योगीशः सर्वकामदः आश्रमशमनः क्षामः सुपर्णो वायुवाहनः धनुर्धरो धनुर्वेदो दण्डो दमयतादमः अपराजितः सर्वसहो नियन्ता नियमो यमः सत्पुवान् सात्विका सत्य सत्यधर्मपरायणः अभिप्रायप्रियाहोर्ह प्रियकृत्प्रीतिवर्धनः विहाय सगतिर्ज्योतिः विभुः रविर्विरोचनः सूर्य सविता रविलोचनः अनन्तहुत भुक्भोक्ता सुखदो नैकतोऽग्रजः अनिर्भिन्नः सदामर्षि लोकादिस्थानमद्भुतः सनात्सनातनतमः कपिलः कपिरव्ययः स्वस्तिदः स्वस्तिकुत्स्वस्ति स्वस्ति भुक् स्वस्ति दक्षिणः अरोधकुण्डली चक्री विक्रमयूजितशासनः शब्दाधिकशब्दसः शिशिरः शर्वरीकरः अक्रूरपेशलो दक्षो दक्षिणः क्षमिनाम्बरः विद्वत्तमो वीतभयपुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः उत्तारणो दुष्कृतिः पुण्यो दुःस्वप्ननाशनः वीरः रक्षणः सन्तो जीवनपर्यवस्थितः अनन्तरूपोऽनन्तश्रीजितमन्युर्भयापहः चतुरश्रोघवीरात्मा विदिशो व्यादिशो दिशः अनादिभूर्भुवो लक्ष्मी सुवीरो रुचिराङ्गदः जननो जनजन्मादि भीमो भीमपराक्रमः आधारनिलयो धाता पुष्पहासप्रजागरः ऊर्ध्वगः सप्तदाचार प्राणतप्रणवप्रणः प्रमाणं प्राणनिलय प्राणभृत्प्राणजीवनः तत्त्वं तत्त्वविदेकात्मा जन्म मृत्युचरार्थिकः भूर्भुवस्वस्तरुस्तारः सविता प्रपितामहः यज्ञो यज्ञपतिर्यज्वा यज्ञाङ्गो यज्ञवाहनः यज्ञभृत्यज्ञकृत्यग्नि यज्ञभृत्यज्ञसाधनः यज्ञान्तकृत्यज्ञगुह्यमन्नमन्नादयेव च आत्मयोनिर्स्वयं जातो वैखानः सामगायनः देवकीनन्दनस्रष्टा शिटीशपापनाशनः शङ्खभृन्नन्दकी चक्री शाङ्गदन्वागधाधरः रथाङ्गपाणिरक्षोभः सर्वप्रहरणायुधः श्रीसर्वप्रहरणायुध ॐ नमः इति वनमाली गदीशाङ्खी शङ्खी चक्री च नन्दकी श्रीमान् नारायणो विष्णुर्वासुदेवो विरक्षतु वनमाली गदीशाङ्खी शङ्खी चक्री च नन्दकी श्रीमान् नारायणो विष्णुर्वासुदेवो विरक्षतु वनमाली गदीशाङ्खी शङ्खी चक्री च नन्दकी श्रीमान् नारायणो विष्णुर्वासुदेवो विरक्षतु श्रीवासुदेवो विरक्षतु ॐ नमः इति With that, we end the 108 verses of the Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra, which means Sahasranama means the 1,000 names of the Lord. I'll skip to the end part, which is a lovely conversation that a few important people are having, and we are privy to that. Arjuna Uvacha पद्मपत्रविशालाक्ष पद्मनाभसुरोत्तमा भक्तानामनुरक्तानां त्रात्रा भवजनार्दना श्रीभगवानुवाच यो मां नाम सहस्रेण स्तोतुमिच्छति पाण्डवा सोऽहमेकेन श्लोकेन स्तुतयेव न संशयः श्रीस्तुतयेव न संशयो ॐ नमः इति व्यास उवाच वासनाद् वासुदेवस्य वासितं भुवनत्रयम् सर्वभूतनिवासोऽसि वासुदेव नमोऽस्तुते श्रीवासुदेव नमोऽस्तुते ॐ नमः इति पार्वत्युवाच केनोपायेन लघुना विष्णोर्नाम सहस्रकम् पत्यते पण्डिते नित्यं श्रोतुमिच्छाम्यहं प्रभो श्रीश्वर उवाच श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं रामनाम वरानने श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं रामनाम वरानने श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं रामनाम वरानने श्रीरामनाम वरानन ॐ नमः इति ब्रह्मोवाच नमोऽस्त्वन्ताय सहस्रमूर्तये सहस्रपादाक्षिशिरोरुबाहवे सहस्रनाम्ने पुरुषाय शाश्वते सहस्रकोटियुगधारिणे नमः श्रीसहस्रकोटियुगधारिणे नमः ॐ नमः इति श्रीसञ्जय उवाच यत्र योगेश्वर कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीविजयो भूति ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम श्रीभगवानुवाच अनन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जना पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम् परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्मसंस्थापनार्थाय सम्भवामि युगे युगे आर्था-विषण्णास्तितिलाश्च भीता घोरेषु च व्याशु च वर्तमानाः संकीर्त्य नारायणशब्दमार्तं विमुक्तदुःखाः सुखिनो भवन्तु कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु हरे कृष्ण
Jai Hare Krishna. Vishnu Sahasranam ki Jai.
Jai.
Radhika
Jai.
ki Jai. Fantastic. Thank you. You know those verses in between, after the Vishnu Sahasranam and before, the
Yes.
Bhagavad Gita, and what are they all about? Why are they there?
They are we do something called a dhyana shloka, and then this one is a madhya shloka.
Right.
So it's in between the two.
Right. So normally would you recite those as well?
I do, but it's beyond. It's more than Vishnu Sahasranam. Yeah. So Vishnu Sahasranam ends with this shloka. So there are 108 verses.
Got it.
And across these 108 verses, there are 1,000 names of the Lord.
Yeah.
So for example, let's take only one line of a verse. Shri is already half of Mahavishnu or half of Krishna, because Shri denotes to both himself as the Uttama Putra and also Mahalakshmi or Radha, as we call her. Shriman, if you speak this word, Shriman. Let's ignore the word I have highlighted, but just the first word, Shriman, itself is a name of the Lord. Narayano is another name of the Lord. Vishnu, another name of the Lord. Vasudevo, another name of the Lord. Just Devo, another name of the Lord. So it's 1,000 names spread across 108 verses.
Brilliant and beautifully recited as always. Thank you.
Yeah, very nice the way she sang.
She's amazing.
Is it in Sanskrit? Was it in the Sanskrit, or was
Yes,
it in? Because
yes.
I was Googling and I said if I can find it in Gujarati, and I've just found it now. So I was trying to recycle with the, what's her name? I mean the Mataji.
My name is
But
Radhika.
it was
you.
going
Yes.
very fast.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yes.
You done very well, and I'm happy to hear it. Because
Thank you,
today is
Mataji.
Agyaras and Ekadasi. We do this Vishnu Sahasranam, and it's very, very good for all our devotees and even our Pitrus.
Yes, exactly. So please read, and it takes time at the beginning. It may feel it is hard. It's not easy.
I know.
But nothing is hard. Nothing is easy for us. We're just mortal souls. So it is hard at the beginning, but practice can be very helpful. So the more you read it, maybe once every day, it takes about 30 minutes, 35 minutes.
But what I am telling is, because I don't know Sanskrit, so I will always look for Gujarati language.
Yes, and I don't know Sanskrit or Gujarati, and I'm not even good at Hindi. So I actually just heard the mantra, Mataji. I just heard
in
it.
the English?
No, I heard it via YouTube. I just kept hearing it when it was chanted in Sanskrit.
Yeah, okay.
And because for me, English is a language I'm more comfortable in, I took printouts from the internet, and as I would hear it, I would slowly try to make sense. Then again, stop and rewind and hear again, and then understand how the verse is split.
Yeah.
And then by just hearing, I was able to
practice
over time, over many years. Yes, practice.
Yeah, no, you done very well. Anyway, I was really pleased to hear them. Thank you.
And one time,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
When Radhika actually gave us the meanings of every single word as well of the Vishnu Sahasranam.
When was this?
This was maybe 2 years ago. We did a series of sessions, and maybe you can do that.
Do you do satsang every Agyaras?
Try.
Every Ekadashi.
We try, yeah.
And what is it, 7 o'clock?
Usually,
Or
yes.
is it 4 o'clock?
No, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I will try to do the next time when you join. Prabhuji, send me the link.
I will. Thank
you. In the evening one. It's only once a fortnight, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so it'd be really helpful.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Are
you doing any chanting today or just?
No, Today we won't. So.
No Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama.
No, thank you.
All right.
Hare Krishna.
Anyway, Hare Krishna, everybody. And
Can I just share about Radhika Mataji? A couple of times I just went, flicked on NDTV, and Radhika was
Yes.
giving a little preview, and I just could not hear her what she was saying. I kept thinking of the Sahasranam, and I said, "My God, I can't shift that thought out of my mind." So that was very encouraging, and I really appreciate today's session. And I think it's a privilege to have you on our Zoom.
Oh, Mataji,
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
What
Hopefully
you-
someday on NDTV I can chant this sloka so many people can hear it.
Yeah,
That'd be
that'll be
amazing.
was
nice.
it like? Are
We've
you
got to
talking
use all
about the
mediums as possible.
You talking about the television?
Yes, Radhika is one of the reporters, one of the
Oh, I see. Okay.
distinguished reporters there.
And sorry, which channel it is?
NDTV.
NDTV, the news.
NDTV. Okay, I'll keep that in my mind. Thank you.
You got another follower on NDTV.
Yes, why not? NTV, yeah. Okay, thank you. Whenever I get time, Prabhuji, I don't watch TV too much.
Yeah.
That's excellent habit. Whenever you
Yeah.
get the time, Mataji, hear Vishnu Sahasranam or chant the Mahamantra. Don't bother about the news.
No. Yeah, I see all the spiritual program, but not those drama serial. No, I'm
And-
not into it.
Radhika, for your information, Gujarati is the original language. It's not Sanskrit. And especially,
Oh,
yeah, because Krishna was himself a Guju. You know, he lived most of his life in Gujarat, and we adopted him and gave him a passport. So
Dwarkadish.
yes,
Ekadasi,
the source of all, everything is Gujarati.
everything is Gujarati. Yeah.
On that false note, we shall leave.
All right. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
So,
everybody.
Thank you.
everybody.
See you two
Hare
weeks
Krishna.
time.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Manili.
Mataji, Prabhuji.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Kamakshi, Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Leela, nice to see you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
It was beautifully recited, and so I'm doing Vishnu Sahasranama with other class as well.
Okay.
And we are doing word by word.
Yes.
And we are at, I think, 52 second word. We are at the moment.
Right.
It's they said if we go with that speed, what it was started, it will take 3 years to go through all these words with me. I think they are going to cut short a little bit, but it's really beautifully recited.
I think Radhika did
Radhika.
in how many sessions? Maybe 20 sessions or
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, it took us some time, yeah.
Yeah, she was doing 6 verses every time.
Something
Each
like
session,
that, yeah. All right. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Happy Ekadasi and
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
thank you.
Krishna.